Hello, this is Joy, and I'm the founder of The Joy of Data. Now, this is a short trailer on the talk of data radar maps, which essentially are a snapshot of your entire organization's data framework. Now, before we get into it, let's get to know each other a little bit, right? So, as I mentioned, I'm Joy. I've been a data scientist over the past 10 years, and bear with me, I know everybody can be a data scientist with ChatGPT today, but I think I come from a time when data science was not even called data science, it was called machine learning, I believe. So stick with me here. So over the course of that decade, I've been fortunate enough to be exposed to various organizations and industries, be it small organizations such as Silicon Valley startups, startups in Germany, Cluj, etc., to bigger organizations such as FedEx, Mercedes, and many others. And what have I really learned from these organizations? Well, number one, data is not cool. Data is not the coolest thing that everybody's talking about in the company. It's really KPIs, metrics, and revenues. And that makes sense, right? Because it's a company. However, when we realize the true power of data and how it can actually help push those metrics, that's when we really realize that, well, it could be a bit cooler than we think it is. Anyway, kidding aside, let's talk about why we need data radar maps and what they are essentially. So if you were to think about how we perceive data and data roles in organizations, let me give you an example. Let's say you have certain data organizational issues and you want to hire a data scientist or a data engineer, maybe even a data analyst to get some value out of that data. So you start off by hiring a data engineer and he or she will look at your data, will organize it, classify it, maybe even make a taxonomy and all of that. But again, this is still in firefighting mode because you're only addressing an issue. And if we were to zoom out, essentially it's a reactive way of dealing with it. And this is what I'm proposing we change. And this is what I've done with my clients is instead of looking at data as a reactive measure, why don't we have proactive measures and also dashboards and metrics and ways that we can monitor it regularly, right? So let's go back to that example. Data organization, your data engineer, he or she's really good and they have given you a very well classified database, etc. As soon as that's done, you want he or she to move to a different task. Maybe you want to now generate dashboards or you want to analyze the data. And so you see what you did was you moved them from one fire to another. And this keeps on happening. So you will keep moving from organization to taxonomy, to analysts, to generating dashboards, etc. And you're never fully doing a holistic approach. And this is where data radar maps come in. So as you can see from my website and some of the slides that I'm going to show you here, the idea is that what if we could capture how you're performing in all these areas, not individually, but as a whole, right? So if you look at the radar maps, you have different key elements. You have organization, taxonomy, you also have access and accessibility. How easy is it for your team members to access that data? And then you also have value creation. Are you really creating value from your data? Or is it just stored nicely like a cool database? Now, let's talk about value creation and also how often that value has been given to the stakeholders or the people who need that data to drive their decisions. And so the data radar map, as you can see, essentially tries to capture all of these in one single map and gives you a snapshot. So today you hired a data engineer and he or she did really well on the data organization part. You'll see it's skewed more towards data organization, which means you're doing really well in that aspect. But if you look at the other aspects now, they're lacking. And so this gives you an idea of where you can then focus your data resources. And as you do this, you will see your data radar map sort of evolve. And you can see in these different examples that I show you, as you focus in different areas, your data radar maps just change. And the idea is that we help you at every point of time understand how you're doing and what the level of maturity of your data framework is. Because this is key, just like tracking a revenue metric or a KPI. Are you with me so far? Okay, if you are, let's pull you back a little bit. Now, I already got too technical into the details, but we don't need to get into that. That's what the longer version of the talk will cover. But what I want to talk about is what aspects will I cover in this presentation. And the primary way to express this is share rather what I did with my past clients. So to give you an example, one of the clients, as you see on my website, is JustMad. Now, JustMad is a design consultancy that helps companies and organizations run design sprints. And they also have this product growth compass, which essentially tells product managers actionable model that they can use to track which metrics will drive their North Star. So let's say they care about, simple example is if they have a music player app and they really care about number of saved songs. JustMap gives them a customized map that tells them exactly which factors and which metrics can help increment that particular metric. And as you've probably realized by now, the fact that I said metrics so many times means data is quite crucial to that aspect. So when I started working with JustMat, one of the things we really did with these organizations were we had this thing called the data audit, where we just basically said, hey, imagine your data framework was a wardrobe, right? All you need to really tell us is how messy or how many items are in that. So let us take a peek inside your wardrobe. We'll basically understand the elements and facets and aspects you already have in your framework that can allow us to give you artifacts like the growth compass model or the data radar map. Now, this is crucial because in this round, we often get in touch with not only product managers and co-founders and product owners, but also technical people like data scientists, data science leads, data engineers, and of course, data warehouse folks. And the idea is to really have a collaboration where we understand their data framework and also then find a way to make it better. Now, what I will be covering in the talk is one such example with JustMad, where we have the growth compass, which, as I mentioned, is a model, a template, an artifact that product people can easily use to track how they're doing on their metrics and the North Star factors that they care about. What I bring in with the data radar maps is sort of an additional layer on top of that, which then connects the data side of the organization to these product sides. And this is something that I've been really fighting for, is the connection between data and product. So we speak different languages, we have different metrics, different ways of working, but I believe that with things like this, the product growth compass and the data radar map, these bridges can't be built where the product person is aware of what metrics they care about, but also can every single day see how they're doing on a data level. And from the data technical side, looking at the data radar maps, the data engineering people, the data scientists, essentially the entire tech team can have a snapshot of their data framework and also then realize where they need to focus on. And as they do focus on different areas, they will see the data radar map evolve. And then this is a great indicator of progress, that we're moving in a direction that we want to, because then we're taking care of different aspects of the data framework, not just organization or taxonomy, but also how often the value is being created, how often the value is being used by stakeholders. So there you go. That's the trailer for my talk. And of course, I'm going to get into much deeper technical detail, show you exactly what each of these components are, how we give you the radar map, and how we actually quantify this particular value that shows you you're doing well in a certain aspect and not. But of course, I'll leave that for the talk. I just want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present my talk. It's really exciting. I mean, I play with data in my free time, and it's something that I genuinely just love doing. So the opportunity to be able to talk and share this with fellow people in the data community is just an absolute privilege. So I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me on my website, my LinkedIn, or my email. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.